Steve Baker, former Conservative MP and minister, joined Julia Hartley-Brewer to discuss the growing discontent surrounding green energy policies, free speech boundaries, and post-Brexit trade strategy. Baker began by commenting on the backlash against Labour's green agenda from major trade unions like Unite and GMB. These unions, key Labour backers, have criticized net zero policies for failing to deliver promised jobs, particularly in industrial sectors like oil and gas. Baker called this a pivotal moment. This could mark the beginning of the end of net zero, he said, noting rising energy bills and industry pressure as key factors. He pointed to recent power blackouts in Spain, Portugal, and parts of France, initially suspected to be cyber attacks, but now linked to failures in solar and wind energy systems. It's not conspiracy talk. It's grid operators identifying over-reliance on intermittent energy sources as a real issue, Baker explained. He criticized the media for downplaying the story, suggesting that if the cause had been cyber attacks or climate change, it would have received far more attention. On energy strategy, Baker noted that while Norway leverages its hydropower effectively, Britain has turned away from its own North Sea oil and gas, calling this economic suicide. He stressed that even under the UK's official climate plans, natural gas remains essential to support renewable shortfalls. We've built an unreliable system. It's a mistake that needs correcting, he said. Turning to free speech and public safety, Baker addressed the controversy surrounding the Irish rap group Kneecap. Videos have surfaced showing them calling for violence against Conservative MPs and expressing support for terroristic organizations like Hamas and Hezbollah. This is incitement to murder and should be prosecuted, Baker said, noting the recent murders of MPs Joe Cox and David Ames. He acknowledged the importance of free speech, but drew the line at calls for violence. There are legal limits, and this crosses them. He also discussed security threats during his time as a Northern Ireland office minister, recalling a police officer shot at a football match in a dissident Republican attack. This is an abstract. These threats are real and current. On Brexit and trade, Baker warned that Labour leader Keir Starmer's push for regulatory alignment with the EU risks jeopardizing a potential US-UK trade deal. The US won't accept alignment with anti-scientific EU regulations, especially in agriculture, he explained. If the UK tries to please both blocs, it may face lawsuits from American and Canadian producers. We need to stick to our post-Brexit vision, being a free trading nation with control over our own laws. Finally, when asked about a global happiness survey, placing the UK 20th out of 22 countries for fulfilling lives, Baker was skeptical. That doesn't reflect what I've seen. The UK consistently ranks high in the Legatum Prosperity Index, he said. While acknowledging the nation's problems, he pushed back on the idea that Britain is among the world's least fulfilling places to live.